Home. Come on. Get in here. Come on. Let's get it. Your little promotion video wasn't too bad, man.
Appreciate it.
Looked like you worked hard on it.
I worked very hard on it.
Still a piece of shit, but it wasn't too bad.
What's good, everybody? It's Delani again with the S.O.S podcast. And today, I'm here with the Saved by the Ball League commissioner, 3-time champion, Antoine Brewer.
Now I'm a what?
3-time.
How many of them was undefeated?
I don't know. You got to tell me that.
At least one of them was undefeated.
One of them was undefeated.
And then one season I was what? 6-man of the year.
6-man of the year, defensive player of the year, first All-NBA scorer champion.
And MVP, right?
And MVP. And
Talk
finals
to me
MVP.
Nice. Yeah, I ain't never been finals MVP though.
What? Do you think that's in your future?
Nah.
Is that something you strive for?
Nah.
Since you basically won every award, certain awards don't really mean nothing to you. And it's not because like you can't win it, but it's more like you want to give everybody else a shot.
No, it's not that. Like, awards are pointless. Like, especially when it comes to rec basketball. They basically just toys to stroke the egos of adult men.
You said, and it stuck with me, and I'm glad we brought up this conversation. Someone came up to you and was like, so did I get the MVP? And your response is, if you got to ask me about the MVP, that means you ain't get it.
Now, that ain't what I said, but I agree with that too. But we was talking about how when I won MVP, they won. People who didn't even earn the MVP was asking for the trophy. Right. And I'm like, why would you want a trophy that you didn't earn? Mm-hmm. So they like to try and say, since I'm the commissioner, I shouldn't win any awards, even if I'm like obviously the best in every category. So I'm like, y'all crazy.
Before we get into commissioner stuff, let's get into what got you into being a commissioner in the first place, the sport of basketball. Take us to your, what made you want to go into basketball? What got you to this level of basketball where rec legends, they bums. Mm-hmm. So take us through your, basketball history.
No, I started playing basketball because all of my uncles and a lot of the guys that I grew up under, they played basketball. But naturally, I wanted to do music because from a young age, my grandma used to always listen to the Temptations, Michael Jackson, all type of stuff. So I always liked music. Okay. But I picked up a basketball and just fell in love with the sport. And all of the secondhand knowledge that I was absorbing as a kid, all that stuff just naturally kicked in when I started to play basketball. But my first organized sport that I played was baseball. Like in North Lawndale, in this community, when I was growing up, it was more so about baseball. Right. Almost every block had their own baseball team. And we was playing at Franklin Park, competing at a high level.
Franklin Park, that's all.
It's right there on 14th and Trip.
Oh, okay.
It's sandwiched between 14th and Colin and 14th and Trip. Right. The whole park take up both of those blocks.
So another thing you always talk about is the idea of discipline in basketball. As we all know, a lot of us start off basketball, merely playing for us or merely playing because it's fun. What happened that kicked in or was like, this is more than just strength, physicality. This is a chess game.
Well, basketball was a tool for me to try and get out and be something or be successful, right? So I used to play it rigorously with no direction though, right? At an early age, I believed that I was the best all the time. One of my mentors asked me, do I think I could dunk on Derrick Rose? And I was like, of course I could dunk on him. If I can dunk the ball, I can dunk on Derrick Rose. Because my mindset was, all I got to do is just get off the ground before he do and just put the ball in there. I don't have to jump higher than him. I got to just be quicker.
How to beat him to the spot.
Right. A lot of people done got bodied simply because of the timing. Right. A guy with a 38-inch vertical dunk on somebody with a 45-inch vertical.
You see it a lot in the NBA.
Right. when I started to play the game and understand the game, I realized that it's more mental than it is physical,
Mm.
right? Um, I never was a player that passed the eye test, meaning like when people see you, they like, oh, I want that person. No, I was never that person. However, I was always good enough to not be ever be the last person to get picked,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I worked hard. Um, I had somewhat skill. I didn't have too much raw skill, but I was able to play in such a way that I can affect winning. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've never, like in high school, I was never like the prototype on the basketball team. But in elementary school, where it's like free for all, it's whoever
Mm-hmm.
play the hardest, whoever
Yeah.
do what, then that person stand out. Oh yeah, that was me. Like I was averaging like 20 points my 8th grade year in high school. Didn't get recruited, any of that. Walked on at Michelle Clark. First 2 years in high school, transferred from Michelle Clark and went over to Collins High School. They
Mm.
was in the Red West at the time. I walked on over there and couldn't really commit to the team, right? And I've never been an organized basketball player. So you go into a school that's in the Red West where it's a system. If you can't get with the program, if you're good enough, they're not gonna kick you off the team. If you're not a problem in terms of like conduct or whatever, they're not gonna kick you off the team. However, they still gonna keep you on the bench. I was that person,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I was still playing and trying to get better, and I was learning the game more and more. I was probably one of few um, high schools around my age that was actually doing skill development.
Mm.
And by that time, probably my junior year in college, that's when I turned the corner and started to see the game from a whole different lens. And I went from being just a real good player that hustles and can score, can jump, dunk, do all that, to being a player that can manipulate the game and win at the same time.
Mm. Okay.
But by that time, my desire to go to the NBA or whatever was irrelevant.
Did you always have intentions to, even if you made it into the NBA or not, to use your talents for the community out west?
Nah, my my intentions with playing basketball early on was simply to try and be successful at it in a way where I can make some money.
Mm.
But and the reason I wanted to make money is because I wanted to go to school. I wanted to go to college so I can be able to get a good job to go to school. But
Right.
then I ended up being able to go to college for free on a full ride. So I had an academic full ride at Trinity Christian College, and then I walked on the basketball team. So I was able to get more scholarship money from playing basketball on top of me already at school for free. So I walked on at Trinity Christian College, and then an hour later got kicked off the team.
Mm.
And then my senior year, ended up getting back on the team and playing because I just didn't want to end being a quitter. Because of my experience in college, that's what made me start in the gym off the streets and Saved by the Ball, because it was a cultural barrier that set me back. It ain't have nothing to do with my skill or my will or any of that. It was just a cultural barrier that was in the way of me being able to bring what I have as an individual to the program, while also being able to balance the differences of me and other people.
Right.
Trinity Christian College is a predominantly white institution. They like to say PWI. That's what people like to say to try and make themselves feel smart. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I wanted to start this program to one, bridge that gap between kids coming from urban areas and going off to colleges or universities that was predominantly white, so they can be able to be successful on and off the court. At the end of the day, basketball is supposed to be used as a tool,
Mm.
but in our neighborhood, we taught to worship it.
Yeah.
We taught to worship basketball. We taught to worship sports in general. And after the ball stopped bouncing for you, you just another has been, or what have you done, right? We got in the gym off the streets is full of a lot of those guys. Saved by the Ball sometimes be full of a lot of those younger guys who don't play at their school. They good enough to hoop at their school, but they don't play at their school because they don't have any discipline or whatever. So using Saved by the Ball and in the gym off the streets to bridge them gaps so people could be successful.
Speaking of that, you kind of glossed over it a little bit. But let's take a deeper dive in the creation of Saved by the Ball, and how proud of you that it's been 5 or 6 seasons, 5 or 6 seasons of
In the
Saved by
gym
the
off the
Ball. Yeah,
streets.
in the gym. Well, yeah,
In
in
the
the
gym
gym off the
off the
streets
streets
was the
is
first, right?
in the gym off the streets. This the fifth or sixth season,
Hmm.
and that's the men's ministry.
Okay,
And then Saved by the Ball is the middle school through high school age group of students. And that's been around in May. That's probably only about what since 2017.
yeah,
So however long that is, what 8 years?
yeah.
May. So soon as I finished college, that following Saturday, I started Saved by the Ball.
Oh, you started in college.
Soon as I
Okay,
finished college, I
okay.
started. Like right after graduation, the day after graduation, I was hitting the ground running. And at the time, I probably had about on a consistent basis like 25 students. But during that first summer, I probably reached about 80 plus. Sometimes the gym had about 40, 45 kids all in the gym learning skill development.
That's fantastic. Are you? I mean, I know you're not surprised about how far you've come, but or have you seen your work, especially in like the youth that you train, like come to fruition?
Yeah, yeah. But it's bigger than basketball. We got kids that's came through Saved by the Ball who play professionally, who play overseas. We got some kids who playing college basketball at an elite level. We also have some kids who came up when they was in elementary school, who in high school, who are doing extremely well in high school right now. And then we have people who graduated high school, but they was like some of the top players in their conference,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and the ones that I'm talking about are ones who was blank canvases. They wasn't the prototypes. They were kids who just had a love for the game and just needed somebody to train them and invest the time into them. So Saved by the Ball originally was only supposed to be for a summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I just couldn't get rid of the kids. I thought it was just gonna be for a summer, and then after the summer was over, the kids just kept coming around. So it went from being in the summertime to being all year round, and now we 8 years in. It never was supposed to be a basketball team. Like the kids like to think of it as an AAU team. It's not an AAU team. It's a mentorship program where I use basketball to share the gospel and teach kids the life skills lessons.
Mm.
And we just so happen to play basketball in the process of it. So as the time went, it just evolved into a basketball team until in the gym off the streets, all of that. And so in the gym off the streets came about because guys who were my age got lost in the weeds
Mm.
along the way. They were some of the best basketball players in the city, some in the state, and they just after the ball stopped bouncing for them, it could have been an injury, it could have been academic probation at school or whatever the case may be, and all they know is basketball. And so after the basketball stopped, for majority of them, they end up turning to the streets. So
Mm.
they go from the basketball to the block. And so um, I had asked myself, I'm like, okay, what can I do to help um, my community be a safer and better place for my nieces and nephews and my future kids? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get them off the streets and in the gym then. And that's how in the gym off the streets came about. Cause I don't gotta worry about them being on the street if they in the gym with me,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Or even if after they done being in the gym with me and they go back to the streets, they familiar. It's a for familiarity of community,
It's like a brotherhood
right?
almost.
And so we don't see each other as just another person. Now we brothers,
Yeah.
right? So when they see my nieces and nephews walking up the street, they family, right? So it's people are protected, people respect each other. And in the same way, through this program, we've been able to help guys get jobs, help guys go overseas and go to combines and and different stuff. But most importantly, these guys been able to hear the gospel. Some of them would have never heard the gospel in their life if they wasn't a part of In the Gym Off the Streets. Sometimes the closest these guys gonna get to stepping inside of a church is them stepping inside of the gym that's inside of the church.
Because one of your rituals before every game is bringing
Yep, you pray it
everybody
in.
together, pray in.
That's intentional, right? It's not to try and force them to believe in God or anything, right? But I want them to be aware of God.
Yeah,
I want them to be aware of God in such a way that they know His character. They need to understand the character of who God is. And the way that I carry myself and the way that I live my life has to reflect that. So that's why I love using basketball, because basketball has a way of bringing the best and the worst out of you. You can't fake who you are when you're on the basketball court. If
hmm
you're mentally weak, it's going to show when you're on the basketball court. If you're confident, it's going to show when you're on the basketball court. If you're fragile, it's going to show when you're on the basketball court. Right? And it's better for them to display these emotions or imperfections within the realm of basketball, and then we help them work their way through these different emotions while they playing basketball, as opposed to them trying to maneuver through the streets and try to understand these emotions. Because sometimes you don't get that chance.
exactly.
You can display your anger to somebody out on the street, and that'll be your last time.
hmm
Or you can end up paralyzed in a wheelchair. I know, I know a lot of people who are in wheelchairs or underground or in jail simply because they don't know how to manage their emotions. So I like to use basketball as a way to get people to be true to who they are.
What's your ideal future for In the Gym Off the Streets and Saved by the Ball?
The goal is to eventually get a gym
Mm,
um, right outside of this building on the next block. It's some abandoned, basically project houses
hmm
right here, right next to our center. I want to tear that down and build a gym and collaborate with a bunch of different other small organizations that do youth work in our neighborhood.
Cause not down the street, y'all got boxing negativity. I mean
Yep,
negativity, yeah.
yep. Boxing out negativity. We got the academy
hmm
with my boy Levante Wilson, and then we got the investments with Coach Brown. It's a bunch of different people who doing stuff in the community to
And
try to
then
keep the youth busy.
you got a plethora of middle schools, public schools, high schools.
Hmm.
I'll come in and join.
Yep, but I want it to be state of the art. I
hmm
want it to be high class. Like you go to these suburban neighborhoods, and it's a total difference.
Oh yeah,
They recreation centers is different from ours.
I seen some that's 2 floors. So 2 floors, weight room on the first floor. No, weight room on the second floor. It's all straight tennis, volleyball. I seen one with like a little tennis thing. So
Hmm.
I understand. I definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so just trying to do that, and eventually have the guys who came up through Saved by the Ball
hmm
running the coaching, like doing the coaching for Saved by the Ball, while also them being the commissioners of In the Gym Off the Streets,
Mm,
while also having some of the adult guys who been a part of In the Gym Off the Streets, helping them get jobs and helping them get on their feet, helping them get on the right path so they could be able to be mentors and mentor the younger generation.
exactly.
That's the goal.
Do you aspire to do collaborations with other Chicago-based like interim leagues, like the Peace League or something like that?
Hmm.
Or
Yeah.
have you done it before?
Mm-mm. But I support them.
Mm,
I support other leagues. I support whoever got stuff going on, right? Because at the end of the day, God the one who gonna get the glory. When it's all said and done, and they put that dirt on us. The only thing that matters is how well did we be the hands and feet of
hmm
Jesus. That's the only thing that matters. So I don't really care whether people support In the Gym Off the Streets or not. I don't need them to support In the Gym Off the Streets in order for me to support them. Like I'm gonna support them regardless. I don't need them to support Saved by the Ball in order for me to support they stuff.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for me. Me supporting them is helping the community. Them helping the community is helping me because this is my community. So that's the way I see it.
What was your favorite season?
This one,
This 2025 one?
yeah,
Why is that?
that's because the team that won deserved to win.
Mm.
They really deserved to win. They best player couldn't even play because he had a curfew and he had to get back to the house. And so they pulled it out and won. They coach received the Outstanding Character Award, which is the most prestigious award of all of our awards. They won with integrity, didn't cheat or anything. That's all you ask for. Like when you doing a league, you want it to be fair. You want it to, you want people to come out, play hard, and do whatever they need to do.
I've seen your leagues. I'd say like 4 out of the 6 of the leagues.
Hmm.
And like we talked about yesterday, ain't nobody say nothing. Why? Because you didn't win. But talk about that.
Now this one of the first times where, well, I ain't gonna say the first time. This one of the few times that people don't say nothing after somebody win a championship. Is it hard being a commissioner and a champion? Depending on who you ask, they may say yeah. To me, it's not
Mm.
because I don't I don't let other people dictate my emotions. I'm in control of my own emotions, right? And all that does when people try and make excuses about why they lost or all of that, all that do is show me a sign of weakness inside of them. So it helps me, whether that's me on the sideline coaching or that's me in the game playing. So I don't care about that. The only thing that distracts me is when it's my own teammates. If
Mm.
it's selfishness within your own locker room. What the other people say on the outside looking in, that don't matter.
Right.
That don't matter. But it matters when your own teammates are not on the same page in a sense.
So I want to go back to that too. Like, do you have more fun coaching or do you have more fun on the court? So I know there's
Um,
times for you coaching and it's like, I want to be out there so bad.
Whichever one I'm doing, I'm at peace with it. I'm
Mm.
100% in on whichever one I'm doing. So if I'm hooping, I'm locked in. If I'm coaching, I'm locked in.
Mm.
The only complicated part about it is the only form of accountability a lot of the guys get in
Mm.
life. They be on my team in a sense that I know I can speak for because I only pick the best of the best. I only want the best of the best, right? And it's something about the skill level of each individual player on my team that I have people asking like, why is this person playing in a rec league and they not like playing professionally or nothing when they got this skill level? That's why they on my team.
Mm.
Them guys, them type of that's why they on my team because it goes beyond just being able to play the game, right? It got to do with character, commitment, and willingness to be held accountable. That's pretty much the trifecta of why most of the guys who be on my team are playing in these leagues around the city.
How important is accountability and maturity in the basketball setting? You may need to foul somebody.
Hmm.
You may be the one the play is written for. It's
Hmm.
6 seconds left. So how important is it to be accountable and mature in those situations?
Um, Being willing to live and die with whatever the end result is.
Mm.
See, my mindset is, I'm not gonna lose at the cost of somebody else. If I lose, it's because of me. If I win, is because of me. Some way, somehow. Whether that means I instilled confidence in somebody for them to be able to take their last shot and make the last shot, or make the game winning play, or if I took the last shot and I missed, or I deferred and allowed somebody else to take the last shot and they missed.
Mm.
That's my fault. Either one of those scenarios is my fault. And I'm cool with whatever the results are.
But how do you deal with people who don't have that mindset, or when the ball isn't theirs, you should have gave me the ball, or you don't take the shot. You should have took the shot. How do you deal with people who don't know how to die?
It depends. It depends on the person. It's all situational because everybody can't take the same type of accountability. I think it's a part inside of all of us that can receive accountability, but the way that we held accountable or receive accountability is different. I'm a rare case when it comes to being able to hold people accountable without like getting down on them too much. Right, but that all comes with relationship. Like when you build relationship with people, you develop a better understanding of how to maneuver through that them tough conversations.
Take a deep dive and like being able to differentiate someone who's only good playing rec ball and someone who's adaptable to playing well organized basketball.
Hmm.
So I know you see that a lot.
Restrictions is the difference.
Mm.
Being able to play with restrictions. Um, Winners like to play with me because I'm serious. Like people who have a winning mindset, they don't care who get the glory. They just care about the end result, right?
Yeah.
And then some. Not only do winners like to play with me, losers like to play with me too. And that's because I instill confidence in them and not try and pull their value out. I let them know that I'm acknowledging their value. But putting both of them on the same team makes it a little complicated because
Mm.
you have some people who just care about winning and they're like, man, I don't care. I can get 30, but I want to win. So if somebody else get 30 this game, cool. But then you also have the person who need to touch the ball a certain amount of times to feel like they involved. And you got to learn how to balance that. You got to
Hmm.
learn how to balance that because if you don't, you're going to end up in situations like me. You're going to end up going to the finals 6 times and losing 3 of them.
Yes, I know. Like you said, you one of those people who have to do people's like, "Oh, I can get 30, and I can get 30. That's it. You don't want to get 30 and win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I know, being in those teams, it's like you said, it's not that really hard, but it's difficult to just have to deal with it a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's offensively and defensively because we've also dealt with it defensively, whereas like 2 minutes in, two turnovers, three turnovers, and people just stop caring about the game. It's like, man, y'all down six, y'all can come back.
Yeah. And you see it. If you have a team full of people who want to be winners, they don't stop playing until the buzzer is 0-0.
Hmm.
When you have losers on your team, if it's a tie game and somebody takes a shot and they miss the shot and the other team get the rebound and go and score, or before they even score, the teammates on the team that just missed and they body language go and they doing all of this while allowing the other team to go and score. And then after the other team score, they try and rush to the ball so they can try and hurry up and score again. And then they miss. And then they let them get a rebound and they don't rush to try and foul none. That shows you how many winners and losers you have on your team.
One tip that I found out, I don't know if I see it on like Instagram or something like that, but it's never put your head down after a shot, miss or make, because you never know. It might come right back to you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you bring religion into a sport like basketball? And how do you bring people, like you said earlier, who don't know God like that and make them or introduce them,
Mm-hmm.
to God? Like you said, not forcing them to it, but introducing the word to them, then
Yeah.
having them, use that word into their own life beyond basketball.
Um, who I am inside and out is based on my relationship with Christ. I don't know how to be anything other than a follower of Jesus Christ. So whatever I do is gonna be a reflection of that. Like I stamp it all over my clothes. I post it all over social media. Um, it's very seldom do I have a conversation with somebody without mentioning God or mentioning my faith.
Mm.
Um, so it's not like I'm trying to blend something together. It's just a part of who I am. Like the way that I move, the way that I treat people, the way that I try and be there for people is simply because of my relationship with God.
Mm.
So when I'm playing basketball, I want people to hold me accountable to that. I want them to say, okay, this supposed I thought this is church league. Or I thought this was supposed to be about God. Right?
Mm.
That's cool. I receive that. But in the same way, when I hold them accountable and I say, we got to be better, I can
Especially,
say that because I made space for it.
especially when they do some ref call a call and like, oh, that's bullshit. Like how does that work?
Hmm. Uh, I immediately get on my teammates.
Mm.
I don't believe it's a such thing as a bad ref. All refs are perfect in my eyes. They perfectly flawed. All refs are perfect in my eyes. Perfectly flawed. All basketball players are perfectly flawed. The only difference is fans and players expect the stripes to be perfect.
Mm.
We can make all the mistakes we want. We can miss all the shots we want. Have all the turnovers. Do this, do that. As soon as the game moves in such a way where you feel like you're finna lose, now it's the ref fault. Well, the ref
Mm.
should have called this call. They should have did this. They should have did that. Nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Because if we do our job, the ref will have no control over this game. Period. Point blank.
Mm.
If we move correctly, like we win by 20 plus, and then what the ref got to say is irrelevant because ain't no call they gonna make is gonna affect the game. But then when you go out there and you being prideful, you being selfish, and you're not thinking about the people who got to be on the bench and all of that, and now it's a close game, you still want to be in the game, but this person ain't got in the game. No, that ain't got nothing to do with the ref. It's all you. It's all you. So don't get to talking to the ref. You go into the basket and they fouling you, so what? Get a jump shot. Get a floater. Finish through contact. I don't want to hear that.
Speaking of bad coaches and bad rotations, my friend, my friend Demetrius, he's been basically one of your players through it all. Am I wrong? Or
In terms of what?
in the gym off the street, saved by the ball.
He been around. He ain't never played for Saved by the Ball, or he ain't ever played on one of my teams or nothing.
Do you look forward to putting him on one of your Miami Heat teams?
Nah,
No. Why is
nah.
that?
Meech is not good. He's not. That's my boy. He's not good. But he is a brilliant basketball mind. Like he know the game. He understand the game. But everybody that understand the game and know the game don't mean that make you a good coach or a good player.
Mm.
Stephen A. Smith is not a good player or a good coach, but he know the game. It's a huge difference.
Would you be willing to train him,
But I
Meech?
train anybody, man. As long as they committed. I ain't got time to be playing around.
Mm.
I didn't get here. I didn't get to this level of being able to play at this level just by playing around. I was intentional with everything that I did. I had a goal, right? And after that goal switched, I still had that level of consistency and commitment to the craft.
Mm.
Like right now, I'm still learning. I'm learning every single day. Learning how to take care of my body better. Learning how to work through basketball relationships, all type of stuff.
You've recently had a co-commissioner, and now you're starting to sell a lot of branding for that.
Mm,
Um, just take us through like this process of going from just straight basketball to now I have a set league.
mm,
Now I can start selling apparel. Now I can start getting
Hmm.
media days. Now I can start, giving out awards, stuff like that. So take us
Hmm.
through that.
So the apparel came before the league.
Okay.
The apparel came to raise money so I could be able to rent spaces to have open runs.
Mm,
And after that, um, through the open runs, there was a lot of people showing up. And so these guys would be asking about, man, y'all do any leagues? We gonna do a league or something? And I'm like, nah. But then I talked to people and they was like, man, maybe we should do leagues so these guys can have something to look forward to.
mm-hmm.
Right? And so that's how the league came about. But raising money, like so this league doesn't make us any money. We lose money doing this. We
Oh,
charge $30 for these guys to be a part of the league simply because we want them to have buy-in. But when you calculate it, the $30 that they pay don't even cover refs.
mm,
I have to raise thousands of dollars on a yearly basis so we can be able to do this league. So it's not really a most people would say this is an unsuccessful business model. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than basketball. It ain't about the money. It's about the movement. It's about the people in the community flourishing in such a way that people learn about the gospel, strengthen their health and fitness, strengthen their character through the game of basketball.
yeah, because like you said, people say it's unsuccessful business, but I don't see it as an unsuccessful at all. Like you said, you're not doing this for the money. You're doing this for the community. And more times than not, you have full rosters of teams, full training camps, like you said, all year. Like this winter season was, well, this last season had several teams. Now you got DJs, stuff like that. So there's nothing really unsuccessful about it.
As long as God is at the center of what we're doing, only He can determine the success of it. You can't be looking at other people and what they doing. Nah.
Exactly.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Hmm.
I don't compare myself to anybody. Everybody that's doing what they doing, I support them, and I just want to see them be great. As long as that means we keeping people active, keeping them off the streets in the gym. That's all that matters. I don't care.
Cool. See, that season was phenomenal, in my opinion. It was a lot of really great games in the semifinals.
It's crazy.
I know it was kind of funny because it was like one of the first time where it's like it wasn't really like people was yelling at the refs. They was yelling at the scorecard people because I was on the scorecard, but I'm like, hey, it's not my fault. Like, well, kind of is. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was not keeping track of them assists. I'm sorry for anybody who had like a bunch of assists. I didn't track them because
So there you go. They be jagging on the scoreboard. See
I mean,
everybody think
if
it's
he's going, that's cool. But assists, I'll be moving too fast for me.
see everybody think it's so easy to run the stats.
It's not.
And then everybody swear they a professional stat analyst when they don't understand. Like they think just because they deflect the ball, that's a steal. They don't understand that like when you tip the ball, if it's a controlled tip, it's a rebound. Like, bruh, they don't know the game, and it's surprising though because some of these dudes don't play college basketball. Some of them don't played a little bit of semi-pro or professionally overseas, and I'm like, bro, how y'all don't know how to measure stats, how to record stats? Come on, bro. But it ain't as easy as you think it is either, because you play with people so long, and then you realize when you gotta take stats that you never knew their name.
Shout out to the co-commish because I know her job is really hard. What's her name again?
Lyric, she be getting busy. Lyric done elevated the league though. She done took it to a whole nother level.
Because she also y'all media person technically. Not only said you
Media,
can hit.
marketing, all of that. I gave her the blueprint, but she took it and upped it, and that's all you can ask for. So Lyric actually been around since the beginning. Saved by the Ball. She was the first coach, one of the first coaches of Saved by the Ball.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, so yeah, she really been everywhere. So shout out Lyric, man. Shout out Lyric.
Yep. Her and two of my other brothers. It was us, and then the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Cockrell. Everybody know who Cockrell is. He the GOAT. He done coached some of the best players to ever play the game around the city. Um, One of the most known ones is like Jimmy Sanders. Um, Jimmy Sanders, he played against Ronnie Fields and Kevin Garnett. If you know Chicago basketball, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Cockrell has been doing community outreach through the game of basketball for probably longer than I've been born.
Mm.
The organization that I work for, the church that we go to used to own this building, and this is the very building that Cockrell grew up coming to. Um, so when I started Saved by the Ball, Cockrell was showing me the ropes and showing me how to coach and manage stuff. I played in his basketball league and a bunch of different things, but if it wasn't for Cockrell, I wouldn't know the stuff that I know. He real good at leading from behind too, and letting you learn along the way, by also making you look good in the process. So that's my goal when I'm leading and helping people, is trying to learn how to lead from behind while also doing my best to help them look good.
Well, with that being said, you have another season coming up. Do you have a team in mind?
Yeah, it's gonna be the best team. This probably be the best team I ever assembled
Mm.
in the history of the league, and this may be the only time where I win league MVP, actually finals MVP.
Is there a motivation to win this, or it's just I'm just here for the love of the game, and whoever get my way, just gonna have to get cooked?
That's every season though. My goal is to kill everything moving every season. But now ain't no particular motivation. I've already done what I need to do.
3 times actually.
Yeah, I've already I've already proved. I told people, I say in the gym off the streets is where the um the the killers get humbled. The
Mm.
supposed to be killers get humbled. Like people like to play in different leagues around the city. They try and rate leagues and all this. Man, look, we got so many amazing leagues going on in our city. You'll be a fool to be trying to compare them. But so what I what I pride myself on is creating a space within our league where Joes could humble the pros, or
Mm.
pros could humble the Joes. You know what I'm saying? And so I've never assembled a team the way that I'm gonna assemble a team this season. Usually, I just get the guys who don't really win.
Mm.
They real good, but they don't really win. They get
Okay.
close to winning, but they don't never win. And then when they come and they play with me, they win.
So I have a question. If you always pick people who don't really win, how come a certain person, who I call my friend, hasn't been on that team?
Who? Meach. He'll never be on my team. He don't fit the description
You
of a
know?
winner. Hey Meach, man, you know it's all love, bro. It's all love. But I'm gonna keep it a buck every time. Meach has definitely improved over these seasons though.
Oh yeah, of course.
He gonna get to a point one day where he good enough to be on my team. He just ain't there
I
now.
wish he didn't get injured. Because right now, it's the time that he's supposed to be hooping. But
Man, look, Meach got a long way to go. But
I need him to win before he turns 30. 'Cause
he not.
once he wins
It's
that
over
30
with.
mark, it's over with.
It's over with.
All right, 45, 50,
Maybe.
50, 50, 50,
Maybe.
50. I feel like
He
at
might get lucky.
lucky. That's
But look, I'm
crazy.
telling you, most likely my team is always gonna be in the finals. The only way my team is not in the finals is if I don't have a team. And
Yeah.
that's one of my goals too, is to not ever even need a team in the league. Right. The reason I always have a team in the league is because I want to make sure we have the right amount of teams. But if I got people who really want to play with me and we end up having 6 teams before that, I just add a 17, and then the 17, whoever the bottom seed, they just don't make the playoffs at all.
Right.
So
Before we go, I want to make sure that, like you said, the community helps you. You help the community. I want to help you out. You want to help me out. Let everybody know where they can get this apparel, more of that apparel, and when the next season is going to start, and what all they need to know.
yeah, so the next season gonna be starting May 25th, most likely. We're gonna be back on Sundays due to gym availability and the availability of the staff. If you're looking to buy some of this apparel, just hit me up on my Instagram, or you can hit up the In the Gym Off the Streets Facebook or Instagram page. Most of y'all who tune in and know what we got going on, y'all got my phone number. Just hit me up and I'll deliver the merch to you. In the meantime, we working on building a website so we can um, get our merch out even more. Um, I want to encourage y'all to come and support the league. It's free to come and watch.
But not to eat. Not to eat.
Sometimes it is free.
If you're a
Sometimes
player.
it's free to eat. But if you're looking for something to get involved in the summertime, holler at us. We always need help, whether that's with keeping stats, whether that's with team management, facility management, all of that, bro.
Media
Like,
personnel.
yep, media, all of that. So you looking for a way to serve, a way to get involved, holler at us. And as well as always, we appreciate the supporters.
Well, tune in for this episode and the next home episode coming in next week, where we have our all-female podcast. We're going to have 50 tips men need to know about women, and for the last week, where we bring in Charlie Harris. Once again, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you for taking the time out to help me out, stuff like that. This has been Delani from the S.O.S podcast. Godspeed and God bless. Peace out. Oh my God, that's still great on this show.
Yeah, but crying now.